I want to use this chart to show you something. You see the time of day here. This is 0 hours GMT, and then this is the early hours of the morning in GMT, or Central European time, from 0-100 hours to 800 hours, which is about the time of the London Open or the Frankfurt Open. You see this is a 5-minute chart, so you see how the candlesticks are really kind of stubby and there's really no volatility. That's, of course, because there's just very low liquidity. And interestingly enough, we see a little bit of liquidity here during the Asian session, and let's just, for some reason, which is kind of unusual, normally Asia does not like to exceed the previous day's highs, but in this case it actually continues moving. But again, these types of candlesticks are characteristic of low liquidity. Then watch what happens when Central European trading begins. Right here it is 7:25 a.m. So it's approximately 8:25 a.m. Central European time, as the UK or London is currently on GMT. And this is what happens when liquidity picks up. So London moves from 90.20 almost to 90.50. Doesn't quite pull back enough, not quite enough to give an entry. It's very interesting to see how close it comes to those highs. I would pull it back a little bit closer to 90.30. Then it continues another leg up, so we move from 90.20 to 90.60, 40 pip, 40, almost 50, 45 pip rally. And now we're looking at this level. We're currently consolidating here, and it has not pulled back yet. So now it pulls back here and even further. Finally comes back to the day's open and then responds. But I just want you to see, this is very interesting how the market will cluster, trade in a range, 10 pip range, it moves out, trades in a 10 pip range. Then it spikes all the way back to the opening price, which is 90.30, 90.20 to 90.30. So it spikes back to 25 and then responds. It comes back up here and responds again. So you could try and trade it here. I mean, it's risky, but you could try and trade it here. I'd be more trustworthy of the opening price. And spikes through by a few pips, responds, and then comes up and responds from the high here as well. This is classic European Open, this type of volatility, and then price settles down before taking its next leg up. Now, because here it could still go either way, as the Open of London often will take on one direction, then move the other. And it's not until it breaks through this high that we start to see a decisive move. And again, we see price achieve a high of 90.74, and it pulls back to a low of 90.65. Even just this little pullback right here is wise to wait for an entry either at this candlestick or this candlestick. Now we need price to break through 90.80 for it to pay, and it takes another leg up. But even if you see these little consolidations here, before price moves through, comes back and tests, and then rallies again. And now it bounces at 9100, the figure, which that bounce at 9100 often will pay at the figure. In this case, it only comes down so far as to 84, so it only bounces 15 pips, which normally you get a bigger bounce than that from the figure, but it bounced 15 pips and has continued on. Then it goes from 80 to 35, which is a pretty substantial spike up, but you can see the rhythms, 20, 30, 50 pip surges for the pound, and that's the type of volatility that the pound has.